Hi, everyone. Welcome in. My name is Jana. Tonight's a really exciting night. I'm with Love to Shop Live. If you don't already follow us over at Love to Shop Live, please make sure you do so. We are being featured on a lot of different channels tonight, and we are so excited to be with you. This is a little segment that we call Living for Live, and we feature all kinds of people from the home shopping networks, the home shopping industry, if you will. And tonight we have a really special guest because not only is she an incredible and very talented home shopping host that's worked for multiple networks, she has also worked in the cruise industry for me, and she happens to be one of my very personal best friends. So I'm really excited. I hope you will all help me welcome in the one and only Kristen Keech.
Hi!
Hey girl, what's going on?
That intro, can I record that so I can just play that back anytime?
I will send you a copy every day when you go anywhere. Just literally put that in and be like, hey, what's up?
The one and only. I love you. I'm so excited we're here. Hey, listen, the second Duke heard your voice.
I know. Oh my God. So you guys need to know this. So I was doing a show at Kristen's house. So and actually she has footage, but I look terrible in it, which is why it's never been released. And we're going to say hi to a whole bunch of you. Keep saying hello in the comments. We're so excited you're here. So I was doing a show for HSN at Kristen's house, and I was featuring these beautiful makeup remover towels by the Campanelli brothers. If you've never tried them, they're amazing.
Yes.
And
2 thumbs
Duke,
up.
Yeah, she's like a massive fan. But so Duke not only walks through the background, but starts knocking things off, crawls at my head, and then realizes my head of hair is like a playing ground of its own. So all live on HSN is just like, what is this? Why is this? Why does it move like this? Why? So again, these are the stories we love about home shopping and about live shopping. That is so fun. So Kristen, I'm gonna welcome in a whole bunch of people for us.
Okay.
Just so you know, we are looking at a lot of platforms, so if we miss anyone, we're sorry, but Amanda, Dana, Debbie, Mindy, David, our good friend David, who works with Lisa, Claudia, you just had coffee with him, Kathy, Mary, Greg, Lisa, another Lisa, Susan, Mark, Debbie, Yvonne, oh sweet, I miss you, and Kim, hi everybody, thank you for being here. Susie, welcome in. So this is going to be really fun because we're just going to actually talk about, on this segment, so I call this Living for Live on my little company, Love to Shop Live. And we just actually talk about you and how you got here and what you're doing and why you love this industry and, all these things.
All the things. I love it. I saw it. I saw you. I saw a couple of your Living for Lives, and I thought it was such a great idea. And I think that's part of what we love about the industry, right? The reason we love home shopping is because we get to shop, but more so we get to form a relationship, right? Yeah. And that's what our job always has been about. And I feel like as long as you have been doing this and I've been doing this, which has been for a minute now, it really does come down to
chickens anymore.
We started when we were 5. But aside from that, no, it's about relationships. It's always been about relationships. And that's why I know when I was very young, I never in a million years imagined that I would end up, in the home shopping world. But when I was fortunate enough to literally just fall into it.
So wait, let's go back because you weren't. So you weren't. Yeah. Because I remember this. So we're actually going to tell part of your story. And just real quick, Linda, welcome. Pat, Debbie says she adores David Markenstein. We all do, girl. Tamia, Kim, Emily, Kathy, Amanda, I can tell you our camera equipment. Message me. I will absolutely tell you. Penny, Sandy, welcome into all of you. Thank you. So, but let's go back because you're originally, you were Broadway bound or acting or because you had such a passion for all these things. So this is where Kristen started.
Yeah, that is true. I was actually so funny that you asked this today because my mom is having a nostalgic moment right now, and she's going through all the old photo albums. And so we found.
Oh my God, can she send me pictures?
No, listen, no one needs to see these pictures. The fact that
I'll DM you.
The fact that I'm willing to share these things just shows how far I've come in my self-love healing journey.
Yes, we're going to talk about that too, so hang in there.
Like back in the day, I'll be like, no one is seeing these pictures ever. But yeah, so when I first, I guess I was quite young. My mom noticed that I had a propensity for singing, right? So I started singing when I was, I don't know, shy of 3 years old. And so my mom just saw that and cultivated that ability. And so I want to say I started performing. I think my first gig was like at 3. And I was like the little singing, signing child because my grandparents were deaf. So I learned sign language when I was very young. So I would sing and then I would like sign all the lyrics of the song. And
hi,
Duke is just, listen guys, Duke is just going to be here tonight. And we have to accommodate him, because if we don't accommodate Duke, the camera and everything that I've set up will be down. There will be no more me. It'll just be gone. It's Duke's world. We're all just living in it. So I started singing and performing at a very, very young age. And then from there, did a few pageants when I was younger, but didn't really do like the whole pageant thing. It was more like performance type things. And then, got an agent, started acting, and not unlike you, Jana. You spent some time you did way bigger things than I did.
No. I
did little things. Lots of
I got lucky.
voiceovers.
I always say I got lucky. Like I really do feel like I got lucky, because it's hard. But you did things. You did it.
So hard. I did some things. I got a lot of no's. I was never the right type. I was the queen of being the wrong type for everything. No, but I did do some commercial work. I did a lot of voiceover work, things like that. And then I wanted to pursue theater in college, and I think I
college
realized.
Where?
Huh?
This shit, college where?
Oh, so I actually started out attending AMDA, the American Musical and Dramatic Academy. It's located in New York City. There's a New York campus, and there's also an LA campus. The LA campus is more for film studies. There's also a theater wing, but it's really more concentrated in film. And then the New York side is concentrated on stage.
Oh. You cut in, you're back. You're good.
Back.
You're back.
So yeah, the New York branch, if you will, is more theater and stage acting. So pursued that, did that for a little while. Sort of realized two things. One, I wasn't 100% sure if I was really committed to that life. If I really wanted to, honestly, if I wanted to hustle that hard. On the flip side of that, I started having some serious vocal cord issues, which I have still struggled with throughout my career, but way more significantly when I was singing consistently. So, Duke, it's time for you to now go.
So a lot of people are saying hi to Duke. Heather, welcome in. Luba, thank you. Thank you all for being here. We're so happy to have you guys. So Beth, so many of you saying hello. Everyone wants to know where Jack is. I obviously understand. Amanda, one of our old production people, Amanda. She used to make us look so good. Like, thank God we had her. Mary, it's so great to see you. Raider, Chris, so good to see you guys. It's wonderful to have you all here. Beth, thank you. So, and Mindy met us both on Majesty of the Seas. We'll get to that, Mindy. We're not quite there yet. But so I want to go back to something that you said, because I think one of the reasons probably both of us got out of the world we were in is, I don't think people ever realize that anything that can be said about you when you are someone who's in front of the camera, you've already said to yourself. Mm-hmm. And the world that we were in, that auditioning world, as much as it's exhausting and it's cutthroat and everything else is they say everything to you. So like when you think that we're thick skin on air, we're not. We just already heard it. Like, I mean, they say everything you never wanted to hear about. I can't tell you how many roles that I lost if I would be 5 pounds thinner, if I would be an inch taller, if I would be a little bit less this or that. Like, and it's shocking how, and it's helpful and informative when you look back and you get older, but when you are young, it is hard. It's hard to hear.
It's hard to hear, and you really, I think you do. I think you really have to want it, right? But I also think that that's very true for anything.
Yeah,
our industry, the home shopping industry, is, I think, a lot more kind and accepting, and
we love you guys.
Yes, for sure. And even the industry itself, it can be difficult, but I do think it's not quite as I'm trying to think of how to word this, diplomatically, but like maybe it's not quite as superficial as just the straight, in my experience, as the straight performance elements of things are. Because yes, it was the same thing. I wasn't tall enough. I wasn't thin enough. I wasn't gonna stand up next
Yeah.
to the girls in the chorus line. They're gonna pass by me. So
I couldn't kick high enough to even get in the chorus line, Kristen. Good for you.
listen, I was a singer who danced, not a dancer who sings.
Okay, so this I didn't ask
By the
her
way,
ahead of this.
Jack is over here sleeping, so
Okay,
I
thank
could go
goodness.
bring him, but he's out cold.
So I did not ask, but can you just sing a note for us? Like, is your vocal cords up to it?
Oh my gosh.
She always sounds good.
What do you want me to sing?
Just sing a chord. Somebody throw something up in the comments. She's so good. So Mary, nice to meet you. Debbie, girl, I've been on HSN. I've been all over, so I am always gonna bounce and do things. Veronica, Emily, Marianne, so great to see all of you guys. Anna or Anna, however you go by. Susan, we are so happy to have you all here. Patty, thank you.
Okay, listen, we're gonna revisit this because now I'm gonna have to think of what I should sing.
Okay, we can end on it. Think of
I was belting out some Billie Eilish earlier today, but I do think some of the lyrics would not be appropriate for today's live stream.
Super fair. But again, we're live streaming, so whatever you want to do, girl.
We'll think about it.
Okay, so here's the thing. So how did you make it from all of that? The singing, the going, putting yourself out there, to home shopping. Like, it kind of, you said, landed on your plate, but how did it land on your plate?
So it's a really crazy story. So I'll just shorten this, and because I do talk a lot about this openly, so it is not something that I'm afraid to speak to. But a lot of you guys know, if you shop with me over the years, that I did struggle with an eating disorder, and that did come out of that experience in New York and the pressures and all of those things. Wanted it really badly, wasn't necessarily going to shy away from whatever I had to do to make it work, and losing weight was a big thing. And again, I don't want to go into too much detail because, again, I don't want this to be triggering for anyone who's watching tonight if you are suffering with an eating disorder. Sorry.
One of the things I love about you is that you do share this. Like, I don't share it often. I obviously also had one. You know this, but a lot of people don't know this about me. But the fact that you do so openly share it, I focus more on other aspects of my life and other things I've gone through. Like, that's really important, and that's really important for others to heal and hear. So I think we definitely appreciate you even sharing that and being open with that.
Well, it was a huge part of the decision, right? So that's part of why I bring that up. I really realized that this was not going to be okay for me. I loved performing, but I didn't love it. I was not willing to continue to go down the road I was going down because my health was more important ultimately. So I ended up taking a little bit of time off of school, kind of recentered myself. I actually worked on a horse farm for a little while, time to figure out what my life was going to look like. And I transferred to Millersville University here in Pennsylvania. Was actually just going to be a music teacher. I thought, hey, performing isn't for me, but I could teach it. So I fell into doing MUTV, which was our morning news program. And it turned out I had a knack for the news. And so I just switched my major and decided to pursue broadcast journalism. And toward the very end of my senior year, I was actually dating someone who was a research and development scientist for a company who had a product that was going on air at QVC. And I was shooting product demos and all kinds of stuff for the company. And so he asked, hey, do you want to go down to one of the live shoots? And I was like, yes, of course, because I remember sitting and watching Mary Beth Rowe. Honest to God, this is it. Watching Mary Beth Rowe. It was a Christmas program on QVC as I'm racking my brain about what I'm going to do with my life. And I remember it was maybe shortly after transferring into Millersville, and thinking I'm going to do that someday. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but that is what I'm going to do. And that's what I'm going to go for. So fast forward 3 years, this all happens, or 2.5 years, whatever it was. This all happens. I go to QVC. I end up meeting this amazing woman named Diane Irvine, who was on air at QVC for a very, very, very long time. Howard still is on air. She's still connected. And she was the on-air guest for the product. And she literally looked at me and she was like, you would have a propensity for this. Would you be interested in doing something like this? And I was like, where do I sign up? I'll do it for free. I will do all the hours no one wants to do. I will clean the floors. I don't care. Like, give me a job. And a vendor there came out actually, and he was like, all right, we'll put you on here. And that's just how it happens. So, but I also got a lot of no's from QVC initially too. So to stay in the true vein of Kristen, there was like a nope. She's too young.
We've heard no a lot.
Like no. Who's this kid?
We've heard no a lot.
A lot of no's.
So, Noelle, we're going to get there. She wants to know more about the Caribbean. Oh, we're going to talk about it. Don't you worry. We're going to get there because literally I'm the person that brought her in the Caribbean. She's the person that brought me out of the Caribbean. So we'll get there.
So that's how it went.
Andrea and Sandy, I lived in Alaska as well. I love that the two of you are bonding. Susie said that we should create our own home shopping network. You're not wrong, Susie. Gina is complimenting how much she absolutely loves your shorter hair.
It's so horrible tonight, guys.
Oh,
horrible.
Girl, your hair is never. So she had it in this super cute little upper pony earlier that I was like, you have to. Veronica, yes, welcome in. We love Wyndham Rose. Thank you guys for all being here. So
I don't know what's happening.
So it is fun. Like Kristen started way back when at QVC, and that's where she got her start. And obviously she's from Pennsylvania. It's where you are now.
Yes.
And that's home. And that's where Grammy is. So we love that. We love all of that. But then your journey took you elsewhere. So tell us a little bit about that.
So just in the essence of full transparency, my hair is horrible. I'm fully aware of this, and we're just going to accept it and move on tonight.
Stop it. Which, by the way, you're singing Let It Go because that is literally consistent. Like, that's what you're going to sing. So get over it, and eventually you're going to sing that. Like, we'll end on it. It's fine.
I'll see if I still remember it. Duke, Sorry, Duke is so difficult. He's such a difficult on-air companion, but he's so cute. Look at the baby. Okay, so I had ultimately really wanted to be a host, right? Like that's always the goal. Is like want to be a host. I was doing a lot of different products. And I was working with all kinds of great people. I had all kinds of different products from I had wind chimes. I remember doing wind chimes. These that's where I learned about the fleur-de-lis because I had to know about these fleur-de-lis wind chimes and pens and socks and you name it, I had it. So I knew that I was going to need to, maybe venture out from QVC to ever be able to move into a hosting role. I was young. I didn't have a whole lot of experience outside of commercial work. So sent out resumes everywhere and JTV brought me down. You ready for this? JTV brought me down to interview as a host trainer.
As you do.
As we all know how successful I would have been in that role. At 25. So luckily, I guess I did well enough in the screen test that they reconsidered the offer and said they would like to bring me in. Actually, at that time, it was as a co-host. It was not as a lead host. I was a co-host, so I was support for the senior hosts. And as a lot of you remember, if you watched me in my early years, since I was a deer in the headlights and needed a lot of work. Yes, it happened.
Hey, but again, this is something, so as we get older, we can't beat ourselves up over.
Yeah. No,
you need a lot of work. You needed
now.
mentoring and you needed and we all do. To this day, I literally reach out to people and I'm like, did I do an okay job or do I need to fix something? Because I reach out to you and ask you. But that's what this industry, that's how you get better.
Yeah, no, you have to.
You needed something.
You never know it all, right? You should always aim to want to grow and want to become better. And I'm like you, Jana. We're the same. I'm the same way. I will ask you, okay, honest, constructive criticism here. How could I have done this better? So lots of growth, lots of improvements. Really enjoyed the time at JTV. And then I had this is how we get into the Caribbean, guys. Then I had someone, a mutual friend, approach me about an opportunity in the Caribbean. And Jana, I think you know this. I'm pretty sure you know this. Maybe not, but I think you do. But anyway, when my senior year of college, before like QVC had happened, I went to a job. Actually, no, I went to NAB, the National Association of Broadcasters.
Oh, yeah.
Millersville sent me as like the collegiate liaison, which was really awesome. That was a really big deal. So I was honored to go and got to represent the university. And there was like a job fair, and I'm like walking through the job fair, and there's this port shopping guide, this particular company that was looking for these port shopping guides. And I heard about the job, and I was like, oh my gosh, this sounds awesome. So I applied. They called me. And I did actually go down to the conference and like go through the initial training. And I remember they offered me the dream opportunity, like the dream opportunity of a lifetime. And I turned it down because at that time I had been in like my first real relationship, and that was honestly why I was like, I don't want to leave my boyfriend. I can't do it. So yes.
So fast forward, we're gonna get there, but she meets me, and I offer her the toughest ship on the ocean. And meanwhile, she jumps on. We'll get there. But so after a dream job, we get it. Being in love is hard. Like being in love is hard.
Let's be honest. We just keep it real. I could come up with a more like, I could fib if something else had happened. No. But no, that's what really happened.
But especially when we're young, like we've all done it. Like I can't even tell you. We've gone over. You and I have both gone. The amount of sacrifices we've made for being in love. Like being in love is hard, especially when you're young. So kudos to those of you that can feel and recognize your emotions immediately. Takes others longer. Couple of quick shout outs really, really fast, because like we love all of you guys and thank you all, and we'll get back to you guys. But Michael, your fiance used to work on Jewel School. Haley is our girl, like 100%. We love that. Like that's my other baby sister. Let me tell you.
Love Haley.
Yes, Tracy. Mary is from Pennsylvania as well. So many of you. Sandy is saying that you can pull off any hairstyle. I agree, Sandy, 100%. Like literally, she's so good with any hairstyle. Noelle is like, Duke is such a diva. Yes.
He's eating right now, by the way. So if you hear crunches, it's.
We all believe, like basically everyone is saying how like absolutely gorgeous you are, and I completely agree. And we love this. And Jessica says hello, so thank you all for being here. But so, anyways, you did turn down this because again you were in this relationship, but the great thing about that is again opportunities circle back around for you.
Yeah, and they do. That is true.
You stayed with JTV at that time, right? Like that was the time that like you were in Tennessee and you stayed with JTV.
So that was actually before I ever went to JTV. So like that had happened.
Okay,
like,
so that was that really early on.
Yeah, that was really early. I was really young. I was maybe like 22. And so so I turned it down, stayed. QVC fell into my lap. That was all happening. Then I land JTV, and I go to JTV, and that relationship ended, and was working.
Well, it didn't end. It just took a pause because like you decided you were gonna go.
Yeah,
try it out.
Yeah, we were both passionate about our careers, and at that age, we were so young that like we wanted to see that through, and this was my dream, and it was what I always wanted. So stayed.
She had a really amazing interview with a really tough girl. Like so, back in the heyday, somebody was in charge of the port shopping guides, and she had this really like tough interview, and I was like, that girl is. So I was getting off cruise ships, and I literally walked out of the meeting. So I was getting off cruise ships with the person I was dating at the time, and Kristen went on with the person she was dating at the time. And I went out of that meeting, and I literally threw down my notebook, and I was like, you want to replace me on a ship? That's my replacement. That is literally me. That is literally who you want to replace me with. That's your next big couple. And so the next day, Kristen was hired.
I will never forget this moment.
I threw it down right in front of Sylvia, and I was like, that's me.
Jana, can I also
10 years younger.
I have to say this legit. Jana was really tough, guys. Like that is not a lie.
So, and also just talking about learning and growing, I was the worst. She was my first management project I was giving, and I'm not a manager, right? Like when you're a front person.
You were great.
No, Kristen, I was terrible. I tell people this all the time. I literally I was too hard on her. I was too miserable. And I was like, I didn't know how to teach. Then I read all the books. Like, I mean, you give me a manual, I will read it. So, I read how to win friends and influence people, how to do all this stuff. Like, I read every book possible to be able to learn how to coach. But Kristen taught me more about coaching than anyone in my life because she came on cruise ships fresh. Like me, someone that gets seasick, like me, so many things. And it's what people don't realize about being a port shopping guide. It's one of the hardest jobs in the world. It looks so glamorous. Like, you get trained by Cartier. You get trained by some of the best diamond companies in the world. You literally get brought to these exclusive events with people like Omega and Tag and Bulgari. I mean, literally events that people dream of going to.
Yep.
And you're just there because you're a port shopping guide and you have to sell them in the Caribbean. It is the most amazing experience on some levels, but it's one of the hardest jobs you'll ever have to do because you are managing a TV channel, literally an entire import shopping program. There's so many aspects to it. You're micromanaging all these different things that it's much harder than people realize.
It's so true. It's because you're on.
Yeah.
You're on. You're always.
You're on all the time.
24/7.
Tell us about that, and you can be honest because I already know all like how tough but you went to the Caribbean and you did this, and she was, guys, given one of the hardest ships in the ocean. It was not even at sea day. So just so you know, as a port shopping guide, you have to do a jewelry seminar. You have to do a live shopping talk. You have to do all this stuff. She didn't even have a sea day. She had an embark day. And the next day she was in Nassau, and the next day she was back. So she had like no time to sleep, eat, breathe, anything. But you were massive. You were probably the most successful person to ever do that cruise. And hands down, I can say that because I've now seen, over the years, I've seen all the records of that cruise ship. So
it was tough. It was a big adjustment, right? Because to just go back just a touch, like the first time I had been presented that opportunity, it was an amazing opportunity. Looking at it now, if I would have taken it, I have no idea what my life would look like today. But I didn't, right? So then I'm at JTV. I was working a very, very difficult schedule, to be honest. It was a lot of overnights. It was a lot of early mornings. It was just super, super difficult. So someone had, a mutual friend of ours had presented this opportunity. I decided to take the opportunity to have this conversation because I always feel like I had always felt like I really missed out. Like I felt like in a way I probably should have taken that the first time the opportunity came around. So when it came around again, I was like, all right, I'm doing this. Interview with Jana. Jana was the toughest interviewer literally ever. I remember Jana being like, you have a great job.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Are you ready to work?
That's what I told her. It's cushy.
Ready to work? You're going to work.
This is not cushy over here.
No, this is real work. And I'm like, I can do this. So anyway, terrified of Jana. Scaring little
I was literally like, right now you have a cushy job. You make good money. You don't want to come here. And she was like, no, I want to do it. And I was like, no, you don't.
Like literally, I didn't want to say it. I just let you say it. But now that you said it, it's okay.
No, you're not lying though. Like I was literally straight up like, no, you don't want to do this. No. I was like, I'm going to introduce you to the most famous jewelry and watch presidents of the world. You're going to get great training and great knowledge, but you don't want this kind of hustle. Stay there. And she was like, literally, yes. No, I still just want to come.
I was like, I really want to try this. Honestly, it was the best decision I ever made. It really was. Honest to goodness, it really was. You know, Jana, like, yes, it was really hard. Jana's being tough on herself, but like, let me just speak on behalf of myself here. I was the most difficult person in the history of the world to manage.
No, you weren't. No.
Jana, did I or did I not threaten to jump off of the ship every day?
But to be fair, her ex at the time, who was also on the ship with her, also threatened to probably jump off. So like, but you have to understand, like, Kristen is an extreme talent.
We did not work that well together.
Like, no, but you're an extreme talent too, right? Like you're an extreme talent. So like I see someone like you, and I know that there's so many things. And Kristen and I are both those types of people that we're not afraid to help someone, and I think that's a big thing. So you, actually, I think that you grew. You were only on the ship for a few months, but you grew so much. And you say this to this day. I'd rather you tell the story, but like,
tremendously.
Just from learning from the people you got to learn from, which one of them you got to see, because I'm dating one of the people we used to work with, like she got to see earlier tonight, but just learning from some of the best people in the jewelry industry in general, not in the cruise industry, not in the home shopping industry. We're talking about the people that are invited to GIA conferences. Like Albie just spoke at like the Women's Association of Jewelry GIA conference on how to be a mentor and a leader to people. Like, we're talking the best in the industry you got to train with, which is the great thing about that job.
World renowned. I mean, and you're never going to have that kind of experience. I mean, that's the reality, right? Like, you know, if you come from a TV background, which a lot of hosts do, there's nothing wrong with that. You're going to be exceptional on air. You're going to be comfortable speaking to a camera. Like, all of those things are skills that are required to do a hosting position. But in a home shopping host position, you are really, you know, you are a salesperson, but more you're an educator, really. Yeah. I mean, that's how I've always perceived the role. And the more real hands-on, literal, real-world experience you have with the things that you're talking about, the more credible you are, and the more you will be able to help the person who's watching you make good decisions. So I always said that whatever we were out there, 6 months, five, 6 months, whatever it wasn't that long, but that time taught me how to be a host.
The other thing you have to do is you have to manage a channel. Like, you have to manage a TV channel. And one of the first things I told you is, being on your cruise, content is everything for you. So I brought you into the office and I was like, you need to film. And to this day, well, before the company sold a few years ago, but before they did, they used her commercial as an example of this is how talented you were from out the gate. Like, I just remember that you're just so amazing with everything that you do. But and Noelle just said, well, you guys just burst my bubble. I thought you guys were just hanging out and selling jewelry and wearing jewelry on cruise ships. I think that's what everybody thinks.
Yeah, no, that's true, right? No, like, I remember that moment, because it was like such an honor. When one of my friends was like, hey, they're using the commercial you wrote to train on this particular diamond brand. And that was the first time. I mean, I don't know, I guess I had written some things, voiceover things, but like, really, we had to write our own marketing. Like, I had to write that commercial. You know, we had to produce, like, it was not just, you're not a face on camera, you're a content creator, you're a writer, you're a journalist, you're a salesperson, you are a manager, you're all these things. And when I did return to JTV, I was a completely different person, and everybody noticed it. Everyone was like, wow, whatever happened out there. My confidence was better. I was a lot more assertive on air. I wasn't so shy. I was less afraid to take risks. And a lot of that had come from the amazing people I had met, the amazing mentorship, Jana, you gave me, the incredible, just being immersed in those types of luxury brands, right? Doing what I'm doing right now, it's, you know, back in this luxury world. It's a different world, you know, it really is. I mean, you're handling $250,000 pieces of jewelry on a regular basis, you know, so there's something
so fun about that. Like, as much as you might, not everyone's in the market for them, I think that there's all of us out there, and we'll circle back to this, but I think there's all of us out there that just love seeing them. Like, I love seeing these pieces, right? Like, I love seeing the pieces you're featuring in your lives now. And if you guys do not follow Kristen, which I think all of you probably do, I know so many of you are like advocate followers and lovers of hers. Like, go follow her on Instagram and on Facebook. See the reels she creates. She creates these beautiful reels of just jewelry that, like, you know, that should be in a museum. And it's only because it's Tiffany that they feature it. So those pieces are just, we all love to see them.
Oh, you know, so much of what in the Caribbean.
Yeah, anywhere. The Caribbean is unbelievable for that.
Amazing.
Like, the Caribbean is so good for, and many of you are cruisers, you know, like, we know so many of you that are cruisers that, you know, it is unreal. So Heather just said that she worked for PPI for years. So she gets it. We're speaking her language. We know, girl. We know. We're speaking your language. Like, but there's something about it. There's something, and like, you know, one of the things that you came down to the Caribbean with, that you were so willing to learn. You read I remember you reading How to Get Your Point Across in 30 Seconds or Less, or this or that. You read all these, but you took all of that. It's your creative stream that allowed you to be successful. It's your creative stream. And I remember this, the ship went to dry dock, Kristen, you went home for a Christmas party, and then what happened? You called me up. You guys, so I had an office, not much different than this one.
I'm not
There's a window out back that faced Miami, and as it was, like, I was on the cusp. I was already, like, Kristen didn't know this. I had already applied to JTV. She didn't know this at the time.
Yeah, you didn't tell. Oh, that's a whole nother.
No, I didn't tell you until later. I did not tell you until much later. No, I didn't actually apply at that time. It was later, but I still didn't tell you because I was like, I'm not going there because my friend is there. I'm going there. But she called me up and she was like, what'd you say?
Honestly, I don't remember what I said. but it was something to the degree of like, I'm done. I'm sorry, I can't come back. I'm going back to JTV. I miss my life. No, I literally don't remember. So if you remember, like, tell
I
me.
was literally crying. I was like, what ship do you want? What ship do you
I'll
give you Navigator. I'll give you Freedom. What do you, like, none of the big ones were out, like, right? So, like, I was literally like, what ship do you want? Do you want to be out of Texas like I was? What do you want? I'll give it to you. You can have it.
I remember this now. Oh my gosh. I remember this now. I was
like, don't leave me.
Yeah. Oh no, it was a hot mess. And listen, that was bad on my part. That was bad on my part. And I will own that, and I apologize.
It wasn't though. Like, the thing is as we get older, we have to realize we do what's best for us. And I was so proud of you. Like, you knew what you wanted. As much as I was disappointed because I was managing a fleet of cruise ships that I needed sales for, like, I was not disappointed in you. You were going out there and doing what you needed to do. Like, that's never how it is. Like, that's what we love about, you know, you want to see the great thing I love about you, and the great thing I love about people in general that love it. You want to see someone flourish. You want to see them. So you went back to JTV, but it was totally different. It was a totally different experience.
Oh, completely, night and day. And like I said, it was hard to. I mean, I felt so, honestly, I felt so bad, like, doing that to Jana, being like, hey, by the way, I'm out.
No,
we out. But
hey, bye.
Duke, if you could not just be on the camera. Sorry, guys. Duke's right here. He's probably just gonna pass back through in a minute. But yeah, no, it was what I wanted. You know, my heart was always on air. I always wanted to be a host, and that was the ultimate goal. I learned so much in the Caribbean that I would never change it for the world. So yeah, so return back to JTV. Let's move forward in the timeline, because now I get this random out of the blue text from Jana, like, hey, stop. Sorry, he's really at it right now with his camera. Fix this. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry that my.
So it's just funny. So, like, while she does this, it's funny how intertwined our lives are, because you even made a comment earlier that was along the, I forget what it was, but it was something.
I'm so sorry, guys.
Our lives have literally mirrored each other over the years. It was something that you did, and I was like, oh, I did that exact same thing. Like, our lives over the years have just, like, we were destined to meet, you and I.
Yes, and I apologize for my Duke. That's it. You're done.
Do not apologize for Duke.
You're done.
He is the best.
Guys, Duke is legitimately rubbing on the camera right now, which is why he knocked my camera off of the holder where it is sitting with my ring light. Duke, find yourself an activity and play in the corner. Okay, moving on. I love him. He always gets his way, but right now he needs to go along. So out of the blue, I get this text message from Jana. And it's like, hey, hope you're well. Just want to let you know, like, I applied to JTV. I'm like, when was this? And you were like, I don't know, like a little while ago. Just, yeah, hope you're well.
This is not my story. This is your story. But we talked throughout all of this. I just never decided to tell you because this is what I do.
Yeah, that's what, like, you just, like, never, like, yes, that is true. That's true. We always, like, kept up communication, but, like, you never, like, mentioned anything about applying. And I'm like,
but to be fair, you were the same way. So, like, here's the thing. So, like, I think it was after I brought your ex back to work on a cruise ship through a holiday, because I literally, you know what I mean, through a holiday. So, like, but the thing is, I think we were the same way in the fact that we don't like to ask for help, and this is not a healthy habit, people.
Yes,
so we're here as a PSA. Our PSA is you should always lean on your loved ones. It's never a burden if someone truly loves you. But you and I are not healthy with that. We're not good with that.
No, we are not. Islands, little islands in the sea that will claw our way up from the ground by ourselves.
Here I am.
I will get it. No, so that's literally what had happened. And I was like, how did you not? Like, how did you not? So anyway, immediately I text my boss and I'm like, hey, just so you know, a super, super talented port shopping guide has applied. She is incredible. She holds, like, records in the Caribbean for, like, top sales of multiple things. People love her. You have to pull her submission video and you have to interview her. Because, you know, keep in mind, look, there's people in the comments right now. They're like, I would love to be a home shopping host. There are hundreds of thousands, millions of people that apply to do this job. And, like, they're like fat jobs. So it's really, really hard to break into the industry. So they pull Jana's video, they look it over, Jana comes in, and then
100% Kristen got me in the industry, 100%.
Dana,
But this isn't
right.
about me, this is about you. It's about you. We're going to get back. It's not about me. That's my story. 100% this is about, but she is right, like 100%. Like without Kristen, I still to this day am so grateful for everything, because without Kristen, you know, a video submission is a video submission and you do your best, but it's hard. It's a hard, you know, and so many of you that have tried this, you know that. So Dana says what makes us stand out is our love for rescue animals. We'll get there. We'll talk about the fur babies for sure, because girl, you know. And Robin says that they absolutely love you and that you are just one of the most lovely people they've ever seen on TV. So
well, I love you guys. And one thing I will say is this, right? This all goes back to that original story of being plucked from obscurity with absolutely no qualifications and no deserving right to earn the job of being an honor guest at QVC. Zero. Nope. Was a hard worker.
No,
really
but
wanted it, but was
you
just
have
like,
it.
boop. So here's this. I always felt like Diana was such an amazing mentor to me, and she always instilled in me to she always told me to lean into my faith. You know, she is a woman of great faith. And so she always instilled in me that, to put it in God's hands, right? To let go of God, just to trust the journey, trust the plan, whatever your personal, spiritual, religious affiliation is. We can all lean into that something greater than us and live a life of service. Make it always about the client, always about the customer. This is not about you. Don't be in home shopping if you want to be on TV. It is the wrong job.
Exactly. It's the wrong.
Yeah, it's not the right thing. So,
and we don't mean it in a bad way, but it's about the love of the jewelry or whatever you're representing. It's about your passion for your product.
And the person on the other end. I mean, that's the thing. There's a lot of people who like to perform and they want to perform. And I hear that because I'm a performer, right? And Jana, you're a performer. But at the end of the day, this is about the person on the other side of the screen. It's about their experience. It's about how we move you to feel things, right? How I always wanted to do this because I wanted to help people feel joy when life can get really hard. And if I'm a pretty isolated person. You guys know this. I have my cat, my dog. I'm a little bit of a shut-in. I live with my home shopping networks. I'm a home shopping passionista. And these people are like family to me, right? So I'm the customer. And so I think you always make it about that person. And I think you make it about their experience, not so much who you are. It's not about you, it's about them. So back to what I was saying originally, though, it's hard to break in, and having someone who was so kind to me and gave me such amazing guidance and always taught me to make it about the person on the other side of that screen, and to always do the right thing, and to always be genuine and authentic, and not abandon what is inside here. My whole goal in my life, having brought a lot of people, and not a lot, but having brought multiple people into the industry or mentored over the years, it's always about when you see someone's ability and you feel that you can help elevate them, you always do it. You always do it. Because
if I want to take one thing for credit, if I ever want to take anything for credit for you, it's literally telling you, I will give you everything I can do. You'll never be me though. That's the one thing about I remember you being why are you telling me all this? Why are you writing this all out for me? And I'd be I can give you everything. I can give you everything I've ever done, Kristen. It doesn't, if I'm not good at my job, then I don't deserve to be here.
Yeah, there's enough for everybody.
You deserve to be a great talent as well. You deserve it. So if I can make you successful in this, I want, but that's what it's all about, right? It's helping, and you are a true leader in this. You are a true leader in this. You have always gone above and beyond to help other people. And that's one of the things I absolutely adore about you.
Well, Jana, you are the exact same way. So, we're both very highly sensitive and highly empathetic people. And so being in an industry that can be a little tough, that's a blessing and a curse. But I think back to all the years we've been doing this, and all the lives we've touched, and people that we've helped. It's a really beautiful.
So grateful.
Thing. So
So Mary May, it's not at all a silly question. So you're not actually watching this on a TV station. This is, my little company is called Love to Shop Live. We're also live streaming this on my Facebook page, my public Facebook page, as well as Kristen's public Facebook page. So we're actually doing it through Facebook and a few other venues. So you're not asking a silly question at all. I wish I could tell you could turn it onto your TV, but you could if you have an app downloaded on there. We're also doing it on YouTube and Twitter and a few other venues as well. But so, anyways, fast forward.
I just want to know real quick, who's the angry face, guys? Who is the angry face? We have.
I think that was a mistake. That's actually my friend Donna, and she's not angry at all. So I think that was a mistake.
Sorry, I had to call it the
I love her so
moment.
much. Like, she's such a sweet bee. Like, I just think that was actually a mistake.
I was like, is somebody mad because Duke dropped the phone in the middle? I told Jana, I was like, there's no way we're going to get through this without me doing something epically terrible. And then we lost the phone. So we lost the image because of Duke. So there we go.
Robin made the sweetest comment, and I just need to tell her, from the bottom of my heart, it wasn't, I had a lot going on back in the day, and unfortunately I had a bit of a stalker. And part of the reason I decided to step away and step into a more private life was actually just that. So it had nothing to do with anything else. I was completely happy. I was offered so many great opportunities. I'm so grateful for my background. I'm just, unfortunately, I got put into it. And, you know, this is one thing that I love Kristen about. She is such an open book, and she's so able to share. As a Cancer, and I'm super into horoscopes, and I'm super into the universe, I don't have that same open level of communication. I'm a Leo rising. Like, I have all kinds of, my moon sign is ruled by Gemini, so who knows what I am any day of the week. Like, I mean, literally, it's just a mess. It's just a mess. But so part of what happened towards the end is I had someone that was like insistently trying to find me, and it just unfortunately made me a little bit sad. And I never meant to like show that on air. And I will never forget, one of my last shows on air was with Kristen, and she covered it so beautifully. But I actually was also sick. I had the flu and I was vomiting on the side of the camera.
I do remember that.
Kristen will never forget my last show on air.
I remember that.
Because I had the flu and I literally was like, hold Kristen. Like,
girl is a trooper. She is a trooper.
So it was just tough, you know? Like, sometimes you like, it just, your physical well-being isn't there. But like, so here's just a little photo of us like in our young days, Kristen. That's what we're young.
Yeah, I remember that tunic dress. I remember that.
I still have it.
We're kids.
Girl, it's so slimming.
Listen.
I'm never going to get rid of it.
I had some not so great fashion choices and hair choices, and I'm still curious about the hair choices I'm making, but whatever, it's fine. I went through a lot.
You look great. That's the thing, is I think people don't realize there's this whole other side of your life too. And when you're working overnights and days, which we often flip back and forth on, which again, it's not a complaint. It's just more like
really hard.
Then you figure in your own personal life. I think at times you're like, what's going on? I don't even know my own name anymore, you know? So I think it gets overwhelming.
There was one night, I think it was like 4 a.m. and I was like doing a presentation on Larimar, and I'll never forget, I was supposed to say it was like the gemstone of Atlantis, and I said it was the gemstone of Atlanta.
Yes.
Like, yes. Atlanta. Just like, didn't know that Atlanta had a gemstone. Apparently it's Larimar. But like at that time, when you're like one eye open and still trying to keep it together, back in the day, we did really used to be live 24 hours. And man, that 4 to 6 a.m., that could be a bear after like a week of meetings. But yeah, no, that is one thing, right? The job is amazing, but the hours can be totally insane. And as Jana mentioned, right, there are a lot of things that go on. And Jana's not, unfortunately, I wish this was a one experience situation, but one of my favorite home shopping hosts of all time, who is the queen. I love her. You know who I'm talking about, probably Jana. But you know, when she stepped away, that was part of it as well. I mean, I remember seeing interviews and like the steps that were taken to protect her, and thinking like, I could never imagine, you know, living that life. And, you know, Jana, unfortunately, you had a similar experience. And it's a very, it's a very scary thing.
I actually always believe, so this is my Aunt Suzanne, but she said she saw our first show together and bought a necklace, and she still wears the necklace. And I actually remember this. We had our very first show together. It was Bella Luce. And I remember her buying a cross necklace during this show. And to this day, she actually still wears it. It's the cutest thing in the whole world.
I remember this. I remember this because you were like, your first day on air, you were like, I've been doing this for 20 years. Like, there was no like, Like, when
But
do I
that's
talk?
because I had, again, like, we switched roles. You were the best teacher ever. Like, it was literally like
It was easy.
Anyway, this is more about Kristen. We're going to get back to, I know a lot of you want to know how she got to Tiffany and Company and everything else. And I love you guys for all the sweet comments. And Debbie, you used to watch Rebecca. So Rebecca and Rebecca is one of the founders of Love to Shop Live. Morning Mix is always amazing. I know who you guys are talking about, really scary. Like, so anyway, but it's just, yes, many of us believe have had this. And again, it's this balance of, being on camera and then maintaining the personal life. And now I'm super, super fortunate, right? Like, I have a great significant other. I have a guard dog, literally. So, but it's this balance of, like, I was living alone. I was in Tennessee, and it was this comfort level. And I'm very grateful for all my opportunities. And you just, you make these choices. And Kristen has been one of the most supportive and loving people of my life. And I'm so lucky to have her. And so, but back to her. Okay, so Kristen, you made a move. You decided to go, but I think it goes deeper than this, because I think we need to talk about the fact that you were so close with your family and you decided to just move home. Like, that's what you wanted. That's where you wanted to be.
Yeah, yes. So the move was multiple things. I'm trying. The cat is back. So
hello, dude.
He actually really should be a host because he does really love the camera. But Duke's Daily Deal. Whenever I'm back in the space, we're gonna have a Duke's Daily Deal. Don't you believe it? Or you better believe it. But yeah. So after almost 12 years as a host. It was about, I guess, maybe a year or a year and a half ago, maybe, when I had received some news. And this is where, guys, I will not share so much because it's just like personal family stuff, but I had some news that really made me reflect on what was important in my life, right? I'm very, very close to my Grammy. You guys know this. She's like a mother to me. I lived with her for a period of time in my life that was very, very, very dark. No one else at that time was really able to handle what was going on with me, but my Grammy was. And if anyone has ever been through, like I said, I personally suffered from eating disorder, addiction, things like that can be very, very difficult from a family standpoint. And so I understand, how that had transpired at this time, now that I've been through recovery and everything. But like at that time, it was very, very difficult. And she loved me at a time that I clearly did not love myself. And I don't think I would have been able to get to the next level in my life without her. And so, I was putting my career first for so many years. I have had close family members pass away. And I just decided that I was not going to run the risk of that happening again, and only being able to spend, here and there with her. Like, I wanted to be with her as much as I could. And Jana, I know I've expressed this, and I think a lot of people also felt this way, but if you lived far away from your family during COVID, being completely isolated and not being able to see anyone, and also not being able to see your family for, 2 years, it just mentally, it was a lot. So I was like, this is the right thing for me at this time for my mental health. Like, this is where I need to be. So I moved back to Pennsylvania, and continued to work with JTV off and on. We continued to work. I shouldn't say off and on, but just from a distance. I was traveling back and forth, flying back and forth every other week, for almost a year. And after that, after I realized I wasn't exactly sure when, or if I would be able to go back down full time. Honestly, the travel was so much. I really missed the animals. It was a lot of back and forth. It was, it just on my end was kind of chaotic. JTV, I will sing the praises of them forever. They were amazing. They are amazing. I have a great relationship with them. So they were but they were understanding. Anybody who's gone through anything with their family, that's really important. There's crucial time that you'll never be able to get back. And JTV is a very family-oriented company and very supportive. And as heartbreaking as it was, because it was a very, very, very heartbreaking decision on my end, to make that choice, but they were understanding. They were like, no, none of us were happy about the decision, right? But it was, at the end of the day, I think probably the right choice for my family, and they were supportive of that.
Yeah, they were amazing with you. They were
Yeah,
honestly,
they were wonderful.
I remember calling me up, and they were just like super supportive. So, which is amazing. Like that's all you can ask for, right? So
Yeah.
And then you made a natural transition into Tiffany and Company offered you a job, and it was just like kind of like, all right, well, I'm gonna be back home, like, cool.
Yep.
And I will say, Kristen has this burning passion, as you guys all know, for fine jewelry. Like, she loves the beauties. She migrates to that. Like, she has expensive taste, you guys. She just has expensive taste. Like, end of story. It is what it is.
If it's over 500,000, I would like to order it, but I would like to request stretch pay.
Is there multiple pays? Yeah, because she would like a payment plan.
Are there 4,000?
Preferably over 12 years, but
I was gonna say, are there 4,759 stretch pays I can take advantage of? Because that is really where my budget would allow me to be.
Thank you so much. I'd love that for us.
So that was a pretty a pretty seamless transition. Completely opposite world, totally not comparable on any level, like just a completely different experience. But a great learning experience. As I mentioned with with going to the Caribbean, Jana, that had more similarities to home shopping than my current situation does. But both are incredible learning opportunities. And I think anytime you go through any kind of transition, I'm definitely a little like here, right? Like there's a lot of this happening. Jana is my lifeline. Jana, I'm having a day, help me. Is there wine? And
I mean, there's been times where I've driven from Maine to Pennsylvania, so ready yourself. I'm like, okay, well, I'll be there in like 8 to 12 hours. Cool. Bringing the dogs.
Which is the best, because I get to cuddle my Jeter and my Mattingly.
We finally got Mattingly. So let's go back to we finally got Mattingly and Jack to get along, because Mattingly is a bit of a Duke, you are the star of the show.
Nice.
Which, by the way, there are comments that Duke needs his own jewelry line for cats, which they're not wrong.
I agree.
Kim, I am so sorry. I did not realize that when we sat together at one of the JTV experiences. I never realized that she also unfortunately experienced the stalker, and it was like it's a hard time. So I'm so sorry that you even had to go through that.
So sorry.
Lisa got the ring that she bought in your last show, and she absolutely loves it. Everybody is so proud of you. The thing is, Kristen, the thing is like you did what you needed to do for your family, and that's the most beautiful story that there is. But your love and your passion. So let's talk a little bit about that. But anyways, Jeter is good. She gets her stitches out tomorrow morning, which I'm very grateful for, because she literally. So my little dog had surgery. I have an amazing vet that lives across from me on the lake I live on. One of her tumors started growing astronomically out of nowhere, and it grew over 2 inches in a matter of a few months. So we had to take it, and we had to take it for testing. She had another one that was just like a fatty lump, which is normal for some dogs, that my vet ended up taking just because Dr. Sarah is the best doctor in the whole world. And everything is fine. They're good. But naturally, this is a dog that is so loving and sweet. Like, I mean, Jeter has more love to give than anyone, right? Like in the world. Like, I'm not sure anyone loves life, people, animals, turtles, snakes, anything. I'm not sure.
Butterflies.
It doesn't matter. Like flowers. Like she stops and smells every flower. Like nobody loves life more than Jeter. So she literally ripped open all of her stitches day one. Like, you can't hold me down, Mom. Like I was dying. So then we had to go to the emergency. Like, anyways, she's doing great. She gets her stitches out tomorrow. I had to sedate her for 7 days in order to get her to sleep. But the doctor did it. It wasn't me. It wasn't like I was like, oh, I'm going to sedate her. I'm just going to slip my dog a roofie. No, that wasn't me. That was the doctor. So, but yeah, anyways, she's doing amazing. So thank you. But anyways, we finally got all of our animals to feel like a herd. Because it takes a while. We both love animals, right? So like there's a lot of animals. And so now whenever they love being with Kristen's animals. It's great. But
listen, it's always a party.
Yeah, it's always a party. It's always a party. So let's talk about, how much jewelry do you own?
We're going to have a moment of silence for this. Girl, I don't even
That's
know.
how much she owns.
I don't even know. I mean, I have maybe 6 like large, entirely full jewelry boxes. And then I have like more that's packed away from when I moved and will be moving again. So like it's just living there. It's a lot. It's a lot at this point. I have separated now by like level of bouginess. So like I have like the 14 karat gold special stones box. I have the like only artisan collection of Bali box. Or
as we all do, like, Bali babes. As we all
like,
do.
Bali, like I have my own Bali babes area, or I should say like Bali area.
Yeah, we do.
Then I have like, you know, other ancillary silver things, a Bella Luce area. Like I have a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot of. It's a lot.
I love it. Okay, so what would be your perfect life in the industry? Don't be scared.
Say it again.
Say it. What's your perfect job? What's your perfect life like in this industry? The industry that you love.
Ooh. Can I answer this honestly? I don't know if I can answer this honestly.
Do it.
Honestly,
why not?
I'll be honest. Like I am back and forth. Because initially always growing up, I had like my dream of like being a host on, you know, that big network.
No, but it's just fair to say, like, it's your hometown. Like you dreamed
started
of being
there.
Yeah.
Always felt like that was where I wanted to be. And like that's still, I think, there to a degree, but honestly also like everything is shifting so much to like live streaming. I'm really excited about the potential of live streaming for the future. Like I would love to have my own thing. You know, I would love to do like, you know, I would love to live stream with you. Like I would love us to be able to do things like that together. Like I see
Come on
that
over.
I see that as the future. And so I think as I've been in the industry so long, and you're very similar, Jana, like for me, I like to have a little bit of creative control. I was getting a little bit like that over the last couple of years, really asking for things, wanting things to look a little different, this and that, like really wanting more skin in the game.
Yeah.
So it's sort of evolving right now, but I see myself definitely sort of gravitating a little bit more to a role that would be more hands-on. Maybe some developmental aspects, creative aspects of things, because I do feel like as we shop together for over all these years, we kind of have similar tastes. We kind of know what each other likes. Like we all kind of like the same thing. We all have a similar standard of quality. And so, so it's a little here right now. Like we were talking about this earlier. I'm kind of like, I need to sort of redefine the dream. Like what is the dream? I don't know about you, but I know for me, like, especially as I'm getting older, it is still being able to prioritize some quality of life, having the time to be able to do the things, right? To be with the family, all those things. Right now, my life is insane. So like, there's very little time. So I would love to, at some point, have a little bit more freedom to be able to create more. And I think that my dream used to be just simply a static thing, like a static role that was an achievement that would have been, oh, you made it. Now it's more like,
you are a creative person. You're creative
like
based.
Be able to create.
Like that's who you are. Like you are a creative based person. You have to create your own things, and you have to be hands on. Like that's, and not in a bad way. It's the most magnificent way. Is that you know what you love and what you want to share, and I think that's a beautiful thing about you.
We shall see at this point, as you always talk to me about, like putting it up to like God, the universe, the spirit guides, whatever, all the things, everything, all the energies to just, I need a miracle moment, because I really do believe that like God was behind the QVC moment, because like there's no way that should have happened. So like that was a God thing. And I also felt the same way when I stepped off of the plane in Knoxville. My whole heart, everything was like, you're supposed to be here. Like, this is going to be a very significant portion of your life. And those are 2 moments in my life that I can genuinely think of, like right now, where it felt like they happened yesterday. And I know that was God being like, you will be here. So I know that like the next one is going to be that, I feel.
Yeah.
Anyway.
100%. 100%. And you need to say it to yourself every day. And I just want to say, we see so many of your comments, and thank you much for sharing. But like, we do have to send a little bit of love to Mary because Mary, this is something that we do not openly share, Kristen and I, but both of us have been in physical and mentally abusive relationships, and we are very grateful for your strength. It is one thing that Kristen and I have talked about many times that we should share more because, the stories we have to tell. I actually have it written down in a book. I just haven't had the guts to publish it, and one day maybe I will.
Please do,
Kristen knows
Jana.
the majority of them.
Please.
But I mean, there were times that
Please.
Kristen, that I was on my floor and Kristen showed up to pick me up. But so we send strength and love out to you because that's a beautiful thing. And the fact that you are able to own it and just be that strong, we are so proud of you. So yeah.
No one knows how, by the way, no one, I shouldn't say no one, but to emerge from an abusive relationship or a toxic relationship, and that can be
of any kind.
Yes, I was gonna say that can be a romantic partner, that can be a family member, that can be an employer. Mm-hmm. To find the strength to actually make the decision to move on, is one of the most difficult things, and the aftermath of that, which can take years, is it's digging deep to a level that unless you have been in that situation, it's hard to perceive. I remember when I was younger, I used to think like, why doesn't she just leave him? Like, I don't get that. And now, as I'm significantly older and having real life experiences, it's you never really know what somebody else is going through, and everybody arrives at that moment of awakening on their own timeline, right? And you never ever know what someone's going through. So there can be so many things that are happening inside that whirlwind that would prohibit them from taking that next step. So just something on that line without, I don't want to be triggering.
Without going down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, but always please try, unsolicited advice here, but always please try to use empathy and compassion, because those are journeys and trials that are extremely, extremely difficult to walk.
And those of you in it and those of you out of it, we salute you. And we love you. And so much love, because it is a journey that no one deserves, but your strength is unbelievable. So
absolutely.
Yeah. Now switching gears a little bit, bringing it back into a little bit of a happier note. Not that that's we're proud of you and we love it. So if you weren't in this industry, what do you think you'd do? Come on.
It's funny because I've had this contemplation right now, right? I've been in this place of okay, so I have some things where I can't exactly be on air. So what am I going to do? And I think if I did a full 180, Jack, are you coming? Jack, are you awake?
Oh, there he is. I see him.
It's a Jack.
There he is.
There he is. Jackal, are you burying your bone in the couch? Are you burying your bone in the couch? Anyway. He has scarcity issues.
Looks like, leave me alone, Mom.
Yeah.
I'm having this news.
We're working on the scarcity issues from our childhood. There's no scarceness happening now, but when we were a child, before we were adopted, food was not as easy and abundant to come by as it is now in this house, where clearly Jack eats well. But
that's actually true, because Jack hides food and then my dogs go and they find it. That's actually legit.
And I have no boundaries, so I have a really hard time saying no to Jana's dogs when they want food. They get me every time. So honestly, I would probably work with animals. Let's be real, right? If I wasn't my compulsive drive to perform and create will probably always keep me in something like this. Even if I'm out of it for a certain length of time, I feel like I'll probably always circle back. But animals are my other love in my life. So whether it was working on a farm, working with horses, working with, I've always wanted to work at a shelter, but I just feel like I don't know if I should tell this story, but we're going there.
Do it.
So in New York City yesterday, I was up in New York for some training, and I was over taking pictures to create this reel, and I heard this boom, and I didn't know what it was, but it didn't sound like anything incredibly, scary, but it was still what is the sound? So anyway, I walk over, and these rowdy 16-year-olds kicked over a bucket of grain that was for one of the carriage horses.
Oh.
Don't you know?
Oh.
Mama got her big handbag.
Yes.
I had an iPad in there. I had my big old wallet.
Mm-mm.
I walked over there with the other guys that are that were like, you know, hosting the horses that were running companies. And I'm like, I will take this child off that bike. Where's the kid? Because mama doesn't play. Like, oh, they're just being kids. No, they're not being kids. Where are their parents? I'm calling 911. I'm bringing you over here. You're picking up that grain. They were able to have handled them at that point. They had gone too far. But honestly, if I would have been there, we might have seen me on the news today. Maybe.
I would have literally been like, that's my friend. That's my friend. I would have live streaming it like, that's my friend. That's my person. That's my friend.
Irate tourist pulls child off of bike and reprimands severely. And if I would have been there, he would have been cleaning that grain up. I'm like,
now that you say that, I know exactly what you're talking about. You were talking about leaving a job. When I left JTD, I went to go work on a horse farm. Like, now that you say that, because like we live these parallel lives. So like now I'm like up in the middle of nowhere with like 4 dogs and want to rescue all the things. And every day my significant other tells me, no, you can't do that. Because he's like, I'm going to come home to like donkeys and chickens and horses. And I'm like, you're not wrong.
Life goals.
Like, just either like it or don't. Like you're in but like, so many people are like, I see Kristen in the middle of nowhere with a farm. Like, but yes, because you have this great passion for horses. But again, it's one of the things I've loved about you over the years and seeing you do is you've always stood up for animals too. You've stood up for rescues. That's an amazing thing you do.
I will stand up for people and also for animals, even if that means sometimes inserting myself into a situation that maybe I shouldn't approach. We know this. I'm going to be in it, and I'm going to be attempting to dismantle whatever is going down. Like, I will not tolerate someone bullying another person, or we will not tolerate this, or anything that would be, you know, like, not going to handle verbal abuse at a counter of a barista over someone's wrong coffee order. Like, we're not putting up with that today. And we're also not putting up with somebody coming over and like, why would you do that, kids? I get it, you're kids.
Yeah.
Like, these
horses are hard. Like, and let's be honest, it's hot, it's humid this summer, it's dry. They need, like, that's their livelihood. Like, I'm with you. Can we just take a moment and salute Amanda, who just said she rescued a blind dog?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
We love you, Amanda.
We love it. One of my sweet babies is losing her eyesight, so no one salutes this more than I do because it's amazing. So.
That is truly amazing.
Oh, just lifting weights. Kristen just lifting some like if you've ever lifted
he's just going back. He has gained 3/4 pounds. I was scolded again by my vet today to give him less treats. I was like, well, then you deal with him in the morning.
But doesn't he eat, it's Duke? No, Jack eats his treats or he eats Duke's treats?
No,
Duke only
eats Duke's treats, but Duke out of the camera. Duke is also high maintenance animal. And because I have no boundaries, these animals own me, not the other way around. So,
I mean, they do. They 100%.
It's their life. I'm just living in it.
Yeah. She's just there to pay the bills.
Basically.
What's your favorite part about live shopping besides the people? Because obviously, number one, if like you're in the live shopping world, if you're in it's you guys that are the best part. But besides the people, what's your favorite part?
So it's twofold. I really do not ultimately want to leave the house unless I have to. So I love, because we're honest.
Yeah.
I like to stay home with some delicious gluten-free tortillas, some guac, and watch live shopping whenever I feel like watching it. I love it because it's, you know, it's not on a set schedule. I mean, there's a set schedule, but like you can watch it pretty much whenever. Yeah. I love a good monthly payment plan. Plan. Right. Just budgeting for me since I can't seem to do it for myself very effectively. In addition to that, like I said this earlier, but I really goes back to, for me, like, I do feel like the people, they're our friends, they're our family. You know, if I can't get out and go shopping, I don't have time to go shopping, I don't want to go shopping, whatever reason it happens to be, I can shop with people I love and get to know them and get to know about their life. And then I like watching them and you connect. And then before you know it, 10 years go by and you're shopping with them all the time. So, I mean, you can hire a personal shopper, sure. But like, I will be the first person to tell you, I don't know how to do that.
Oh no, she froze. Hold on, she's gonna come back. She's gonna come back. Wait for it, and then we're gonna make her sing. So she's definitely gonna come back. There she is. Kristen,
Did
you're back.
I cut out?
No, you're good here, but you're not in the picture anymore. You left.
No, I left because it was giving me the wheel of death, and so I was like, oh no, should I plug a charger in? And maybe just in case we get the wheel of death again. Like, let's hope we don't get that. So yeah, no, I don't know. It's just, I'm not sure, but anyway. So now hopefully we will have no connectivity issues, but yeah, so that's part of it, right? Like I said, I'm just keeping it real.
Yeah.
I've been a diehard shopper since I was like 19. I'm 36.
Yep.
So there's a consistent relation. It's the longest relationship I've ever been in.
So here's the final one. Can you please sing Let It Go? Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so here's the only problem. I can sing.
I don't hear problems. I hear solutions.
But no, for real. So the only thing is, I can only sing a little bit because there is a certain. Do you know what it is, Jana? Like, there's a certain amount you can sing that Facebook will flag you and cut the video.
Oh, okay. So no, I don't know, but Let It Go. Oh, you guys don't want to hear me sing. Okay, so just sing like one little thing. I actually didn't know that.
Yeah,
so
no.
Just
Yeah,
sing
they'll
like
cut
one
it.
little note.
Let me see if I remember like the right area, because I'm like, I don't know if the chorus would get flagged. So I'm like, maybe.
No, just sing one little note.
Like the snow glows white on the mountain tonight. Not a footprint to be seen. A kingdom of isolation, and it looks like I'm the queen. I don't know if I should keep going because I don't.
Her voice is so good.
Little bit. It's been years since I sang that song.
Her voice is so good. It's like insane.
Yeah.
Anyways, like you guys can actually scroll back probably on your page,
you can
right?
find
on, like, your Kristen Keech page.
But you'll find clips. They're like really short because
you'll see clips, right? Like if they scroll back or they look at your videos on the Kristen Keech page, I think they can see it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but it's
oh my God,
someone said like it's 6 seconds. Yeah, no, it's I learned this the hard way after like recording things and like wanting to go live, and then it's like, hey, Kristen, you're being flagged for copyright, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, like none of my American Beauty Star stuff or my American Beauty can't go up on. You can't actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it can't actually go up because they're afraid that I don't actually own the license to it. So it's true. Like there's a lot of stuff that can't go up on Facebook or any other place. But she has an amazing voice. Go back and look and see, and she has some great videos. So, but you have to keep us posted. You have to come back and visit us.
I will. As you know, I have been very forthright that this is my adventure stage. I wish I had a better plan. I wish I knew where life was going to take me. No clue. So come along for the ride. And yay!
Well, I think our industry is changing so much, right? Live streaming is becoming such a big thing. You're seeing jewelry brands doing it. You're seeing so many different people doing it that I think there's so many opportunities out there that I think you're going to pop up all the places.
As our amazing Michael O'Connor would say, from your mouth to God's ears, sister.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. If you guys don't follow him, please follow him. He's amazing. He's such an inspiration. We love him to death. So
Okay, before we go.
There he is. The star of the show.
Big Sexy is back.
I know you. Hold on, let's give him the full screen. He deserves it. There he is.
This is really attractive.
But the best part is, like, don't move. Hold on, I got to take a picture of this and send it to you because Jack is in the background literally judging you. I'm just going to...
Listen, he's purring the whole time, I promise. It looks like he's strangling me. This is a great shot.
I actually can't wait to take this picture and send it to you because literally Jack is in the background. Like, he is literally judging you. Like, look back at him. Like, he's literally like, Mom, you're a disaster. Please leave. Like, don't touch him. Like... He's literally judging you. Like, I love that dog. Like, he's literally like,
I have cat hair in the mouth, the lips, the whole, and I'm pretty sure I trimmed his nails. My kiki buddy cut.
And on that note, everyone,
I
stay tuned in. Kristen's going to keep giving you amazing content. So please, please, please make sure you're following her at Kristen Keech. We loved being here with you guys.
I love you, girl.
Kristen, you're amazing.
You're amazing. Thank you for having me. I feel honored and blessed. Thank you so much, Jana.
We love you so much. Thank you for coming out and hanging out with me and Love to Shop Live. Keep us posted. And you know when she decides to shift gears, if she does anything, you'll hear it here first. I was such a news reporter. I was trying to be you as a news reporter.
I love it.
All right, everybody. We love you. We'll talk to you again soon. Thank you for being here.
Bye.
Bye.